This video is number 2 in the series of 7 on building positive athletic confidence, self-efficacy. Video number 1 was on the powerful force of having past success to build on future success. Having past successes is without doubt the most powerful element in building confidence for a future event. So in this video, video number 2, we're going to talk about another powerful element or another powerful source of building athletic confidence, and that is feedback. Before I get started on this video, I'd like it known that today, March the 11th in 2018, my good friend and golf instructor Martin Ikeda died today. I have known Marty for got to be going on 30 years now. I first met him when I went to Kissimmee Golf Club and started playing professionally out of Kissimmee. Marty saw that I was a very motivated, to say the least. I was hitting balls every single day, playing golf seemingly every day, playing in a lot of events, and Marty and I kicked off a great relationship, and we kept in touch all of these years. Even when I was in graduate school, went back to the University of Alabama, we kept in touch. And I think it's apropos that today I talk about the power of positive feedback from a revered person and how it can support an athletic dream and build confidence. Marty was a great instructor. In fact, I'll give you a quick story. I guess this was back in 2006 or 2007. My company had collapsed with the recession, and life happens, and I had to figure out, well, what am I going to do now? Me and Marty were at a golf club in Kissimmee, Florida, and we was out there practicing, and I was taking a lesson from him on some wedge shot, 100 it in fact, 100 it in wedge shots that particular day. So I was talking to him. I said, Marty, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do next. I mean, I think I was about 43, maybe 44 years old, something like that. And we were just talking, and I said, well, I guess I could start training right now to get ready to go on to the senior tour. I said, but the odds of that happening are so remote. I mean, I had no standing anywhere. I'd have to perhaps do some Monday qualifying, and any of you that has ever done any Monday qualifying knows that the odds of being successful in that is too much. And I said, I'm going to have to get ready to go to qualifying school. And he said, well, it's going to take you about 2, maybe 3 years to get yourself ready to go and get yourself in tournament shape on that. It's going to cost you a fortune to do it. Are there any other options for you? What are the other thoughts in your mind? I said, well, Marty, quite frankly, I said, I had never done anything for, what have I been doing for the last 15 years? And so we just kept kicking around ideas. I said, I guess maybe I could go back to college. He says, why don't you explore that and just, flesh it out and see what happens. And that's exactly what I did. Now, of course, that was, like I said, 10, 11 years ago. And so here I am now. I'm on the other side of academia, doctorate in hand, master's degree, working on my MBA. So part of all that was because of Marty. And, it's just a thing that he wasn't a guy to give advice, not really. He would let you sort of go down your own self-awareness rabbit hole and come up with the solution yourself. I mean, he was a good friend. And, as you get older, those kind of people, you don't meet them every day. And good friends in today's world, it's just hard to come by. Sure, lots of acquaintances, lots of business people I know, but really a close friend. How many people do you know that you can call a close friend? Call them on the phone. I need your help. Would they be there? I know I can't count, but I mean, they're whittling down as the years go by. So I'm going to miss my friend, but I know he was straight with the Lord, and I know he's in a better place because over these last few years he's been struggling with a lot of health issues. And so I want to tell Robin how appreciative I am of her for taking care of Marty all these years. I'm going to miss you, buddy, but quite frankly, I'm going to look forward to seeing you again very soon. And so with that, I want to talk to you about feedback, because Marty was always a person, always so positive, great feedback for me at all. I never can remember him ever giving me a critical piece of feedback, always positive. And that's what feedback is. That's why feedback is so powerful. So let's break it down to what is feedback and where does it come from. Generally, feedback comes from, or it can come from, three primary sources. And those sources include, number one, a revered source, someone that you respect or perhaps you even love. This is the number one source, or the number one most powerful form of feedback, or the source of feedback that you can get as an athlete. The next source is a trusted form of feedback. In other words, this is a person that you trust, that you respect, let's say, beyond not the love aspect, but you just trust their opinion, you respect their opinion, and that would be the second form or second source of feedback, second most powerful source of feedback. And then the third source of feedback is sort of indifferent. It's sort of insignificant feedback, or at least it should be, and we're going to talk about that, and that comes from the media, the fans, and your opponent. So those are the sources of feedback, the three general sources of feedback, and there are two kinds of feedback that I want to talk to you about now. Let me make it clear now, either one of the three sources can provide you with these kinds of feedback, and those include either motivational or instructive. Motivational feedback can go two ways. If it's positive, it can be a very powerful tool to keep a person motivated. However, if it's negative feedback, it can also act as a demotivator. And again, it depends on the source. It's either supportive or it is critical. And that can either motivate a person or it can demotivate a person. Instructive feedback's the same thing. Either it's going to support you or it can be critical. I'm not sure it's in vogue right now, but I know that many, many years ago, negative feedback or negative enforced feedback was used all the time on these sort of hard-edged coaches. I can think of a few in my mind right now. I'm sure you can. I'm not sure the younger generation, the younger coaches, or at least the coaches smart enough to use sports psychology, I'm not sure they're doing that as much anymore, simply because they know the power of motivation and how sports psychology can either support an athlete, or using negative reinforced feedback, it can derail an athlete. It just depends on their personality. So smart coaches today, they work with their athletes either knowing that certain language is going to pump up a player, and certain language, if used on a different player with a different personality, is going to demotivate them and just derail them. So the smart coaches, the ones that use people like me, or the ones that are up on sports psychology and the theories of personality, they're using feedback to the advantage of the entire squad. They're helping the entire team by selecting certain players and figuring out early on, well, this person needs to be motivated this way, this person needs to be motivated this way, and even on a team environment, no two players are motivated the same. The smart coaches, they know that. So now let's talk about the three sources of feedback, and let's figure out where you fall in that. Now, you may be the parent, you may be the coach, or you simply may be the athlete listening to this kind of thing, listening to this recording here, this video, and so you're going to fall into one of these camps. And so depending on where you are in the sphere of influence for the athlete, unless you are the athlete, hopefully I'll say something that triggers something in your mind to let you know that maybe what I've been saying or doing has not been the most productive for my athlete, or maybe the thing that I'm thinking has not been the best for my career. So let's go into it right now. As a revered source, now this is a person that is highly, highly respected. Could even be a person that's loved. Now, obviously, you know who that is. That's the parent. The parent of the athlete is, I would think, and I'm fairly sure, is the most powerful role within most athletes' fear of influence. They have anything they say, they're going to have the most influence. The words are going to have the most influence on that particular athlete. And the reason why is it's all out of love. This thing is all about the respect and the love of the athlete has to the person, the parent, let's say, or the guardian or whoever, giving out the feedback. So think about this. You say to your athlete after a tough game, or it didn't go right, and you say something critical to that person, they take it right to heart. They're going to take it right to heart. Now here in the worst case scenario for that athlete is if they feel like that they are letting you down with subpar performances, they'll sabotage their own success to get out of there because they don't want to risk losing your respect or love. So a little advice for you here. I just want you to be aware, so maybe I can help you guide yourself down your psychological rabbit hole. I know you want the best for the person that is in your life, the athlete or the child or whoever that person is, the role who they are in your life. However, your words and your expectations that you're putting on top of this person are so powerful that they are taking it straight to heart, and then that could be the thing that's motivating them to either do better or to do worse, you see. So you have to be very careful of what you say, when you say it, how the words are structured in sentences even. The words are powerful. Your tongue is a two-edged sword, cuts both ways, positive and negative. So if you're just aware of what you are doing verbally as far as feedback is concerned on that athlete, the better. Just stay aware. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just be mindful of what could be happening in the mind of this person when I say those things. That's it. And if you don't know, just ask them maybe, or get a third party, somebody like me, to go in there and be a intermediate between the two parties, and then we'll see. The next source of power or the next source of feedback are for people that are trusted. And this may be somebody that may not even be the coach of the player. Let's give you an example. Say you're on a PGA Tour and Jack Nicklaus, let's say, is doing some commentary for whatever channel he's doing, and he makes a really nice comment about your game. Well, you don't know Jack Nicklaus. Let's say you've only met him in passing. Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you, kind of thing. But his opinion of you, you hold in high regard. I mean, that it really means something, because Jack Nicklaus, I mean, he's not known to be a liar. At least I don't know him of that. He's really sort of, what would it profit him to call you a lousy player or something like that when there's nothing in it for him? Why would he do that? He wouldn't do it. That's what I'm saying. So you trust him and you respect him, and that would mean a lot for you. However, if he did say something negative, you don't really have an emotional tie to Jack Nicklaus, and you don't love the man, let's say. So you could brush it off, and keep that in mind. Even if a trusted source, like a coach, right, or like a revered person, says something negative about you, it is not the end of the world, because, well, what do they really know? You see, if they say something negative, they really, really don't know what's going on in your life. There could be some external forces that are causing you to have a drop in performance. They don't know. So I'm just saying, for you to be able to build up some psychological walls in case somebody, like a coach or somebody revered, does say something negative to me. You respect that. You respect them. However, their darts cannot penetrate your shield, right? Not like a parent can or someone you love. Now keep that in mind as we go a little deeper down the rabbit hole. The last source of feedback is from the media or the fans. And either way, whoever is coming from, those people should be ignored. And that includes even if it's good or bad. I know that I think that I heard Bill Belichick say before, perhaps it's even on the wall in the Patriots locker room, ignore the noise. And simply what it means is, why are you listening to people that don't know anything? You got to sort of, what is the motivation of the people in the media? Once you go deep down and sort of understand, why are they saying these things? Understand it, really understand. What is their motivation for saying these things negative or even in positive ways? Why are they saying it? Same thing with a fan. Fan is, you know that fan is short for fanatic, right? So keep that in mind. And for the fans, I'm not sure athletes, do they really read the things that you are posting online and forums and things? I hope you're not. I hope as an athlete you are not reading that kind of stuff, because it doesn't mean anything, or at least it shouldn't mean anything. And if it does mean something to you, this is something that you might want to take a look at. Why do you care what a person, either in the media or as a fan base, why do you put so much emphasis on their opinion of you? Why? This is a great question. What is the fans' motivation? Do they really care about you as a person? Do they care about you as an athlete? Or do they care about you because they just lost a line or something like that? Why are they saying these things? Once you understand their motivation, if it's possible that you as a professional athlete or a great athlete can sort of understand their motivation, then perhaps you'll say to yourself, that person, their opinion of me means nothing. Therefore, I am going to eliminate the noise and get rid of it. It doesn't matter. And I don't care who it is in the media. It doesn't matter who they are. What is their motivation and why do they care? Fact is, they don't care. Hopefully you do care. And if you do care, just tune it all out. And so if you're getting feedback from a trusted person or a revered person that you know is going to have a negative effect on you, but they don't really mean it to be negative, then you've got to do something in order for it not to resonate in your mind in a negative way. Now, hopefully that makes sense. In other words, somebody that you respect and you love, they're saying things to you that is not helpful. What are you going to do? Are you going to, you're the captain of this ship. You have to be in charge, right? You're in the middle of this whole storm here, and they're just saying it out of love. I get that, right? But some people just do not know how to talk in athletic terms so that it is not perceived as something negative. So it's up to you as the athlete or even the guardian or parent of an athlete to put a shield, a bush around them so that you control what's going on up here. You have to control what is happening up here. Even if the people that you love and you trust or you respect are giving you feedback, then somehow you've got to take charge of that and saying, Coach, that just ain't working for me. You know, that kind of, take them aside or in private or whatever it needs to do, or get somebody in the middle like me, an intermediate, and tell that person the language that you're using is demotivating that athlete or demotivating that person. It's not helping. What you're saying is not helping this athlete move forward in their career. Well, why is that? Well, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want what's best for the athlete, then you'll do what's best for the athlete, unless it's totally a selfish thing. Then the trust that the athlete has given you is not warranted, and we have to have another conversation on that then. So this is all about motivation, or maybe it is about education. Maybe the person that's given the athlete the feedback, maybe they don't realize what's going on in the athletic mind, so that they really don't see that it's demotivating the athlete. As a coach myself and other coaches, if you're giving negative feedback to somebody that holds you in regard or holds you as in respect or revere, the words you use are so powerful. I monitor everything that comes out of my mouth, or at least I try to. I try to be aware and mindful of the things that I say around a young person that may hold me in respect, certainly my clients. And never, ever am I ever negative or critical of an athlete. I want them to feel great. I want them to feel positive about this thing, beautiful, and let their talent shine to the world. God gave them a gift, and we don't want to put a lamp post over that. We don't want to put a shade over that. Let it out and let other people see and let them say, my gosh, what a beautiful athlete that is. We can all rejoice in celebrating this athlete's talent, because I know I don't have it. Isn't it fun to see an athlete exercise their God-given ability, knowing that I in a million years I couldn't do that, but I can look at another person that has a gift that I don't and celebrate that with wonder and just be in awe of their talent, not in awe of the person like some nitwits do in today's world. But I can be in awe of the talent and say, wow, that person has developed that talent, and I'm going to celebrate it with them, and I'm going to support that person all the way. What a beautiful thing it is to have talent and not to squander it or waste it or be afraid of it. All of those things come and can be developed through positive and constructive feedback from a loved one or a revered one. And if you're in that position of any one of those roles, I hope, and you're listening to this, maybe you'll be aware now that your words are powerful. Your tongue is a two-edged sword. It can cut both ways, both positively, cut you out, cut your legs right out from under you, or it can cut away all the weeds and the negativity that is of this world today, clear a path of the garbage that's in this world, and move forward. Here's an example of garbage that was not cleared for this athlete.
There's a Jacksonville fan going at Jefferson, and you don't want to there's security there. You don't want them to get involved. Now, he's been ejected. He should be headed to the locker room.
And they need to get somebody from the Seattle staff to walk Quentin Jefferson into the locker room.
And look, somebody threw something at him from the stands and it landed at him. Security needs to take care of this to make sure fans should not throw things.
Now, that is an example of emotional unregulation. This athlete has got nothing to gain and everything to lose. Do you think if he went up in those stands and attacked that fan, how many lawyers would have sent him a letter the next day and he would have been sued for millions and millions of dollars? Doesn't matter if the fan if a bowling ball was thrown off those fans, it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. The team would have been sued, the stadium would have been sued, the athlete, and he would have lost. He'd have settled out of court because it's cheaper to settle than to go to trial. What did the fan have to lose? Get a punch in the face? He put himself on Instagram and said, look who just hit me. He'd have been an internet star, you see. So that's why, as an athlete, and I know it's easy to say that sitting here, but get in that situation and see if you could deal with some nitwit throwing beer and hot dogs at you. And he'd just been thrown out of the game, so he's already in high emotion. But I'm just saying to you as the athlete or the parent, certainly the parent, when other parents are screaming for your kid to fail, are you going to attack the parents? Or you as the athlete, are you going to react to somebody sitting in the stands yelling at you? No. Because you now hopefully will understand what is their motivation. Why are they doing that? Is it out of love or is it out of envy and jealousy, the negative emotions? It's out of those two things. And if it's coming out of hate, which it is, that's something you put your wall around. You put up your wall and say, you ain't going to get me today. Not today. Tomorrow, maybe, but not today. You're not going to get me today. Here I am, and here I am. Now that's focus. So there you have it. The second, I don't know if I could say the second most powerful form of self-efficacy or building confidence, but it certainly is. It's up there. It's big. And that's the second, but it is going to be the second of 7 in my series of building athletic confidence, building self-efficacy. Just remember, as an athlete, I'm talking to the athletes only now, no coaches, no parents, or nothing. You are the captain of your ship. You have to take charge of your mind Everybody in your sphere of influence, whether they want to come in or not, is irrelevant. It's the people that you allow into your sphere of influence. They all have got to be on the same page. Everybody has got to be on the same page because we're talking about your success. If you allow people, other people, to dictate your emotional well-being, then you have given away your power. You keep your power. Your power is yours. If you elect to give it away to some nitwit in the stands, the fans, a coach, or anybody else other than, let's say, a loved one, and they have to, and they're going to have to be set down if they're trying to sap your power. But anybody that tries to sap that or dictate your emotional well-being as an athlete, they're going to have to get past that firewall. In other words, you have to dictate to them. What you're saying is not helpful. What you're saying is hurting my feelings. What you're saying is not helping me. They have to understand, either you do it yourself or you get somebody like me to do it, but do not give away your power. You are a powerful athlete. You have a God-given talent. Don't let anyone ever dictate to you what your talent is. You are the captain of your talent ship, and nobody else has the right to steer other than the people that you allow to steer. Get your power together, build it, and don't let anyone, not this man or any other man, tell you that you can't do something, or you're too slow, or you should be doing this, or you ought to be doing that. Any of that. Whatever it is that motivates you, whatever the words need to be from other people in your sphere, whatever you need them to say, they will be saying it. They should be saying the things that support you to help build your confidence, not deconstruct your confidence, not demotivate you for their sake. You see what I mean? For their sake. I'm saying to you, be the captain of your ship. You have a talent, go express it. And don't let anybody else try to steer your ship. Now, doggone it. Now that's powerful. That is powerful. And that is the power of feedback. So there you have my series of 7. This is video 2, obviously, of feedback. Be sure and check in with me in a couple days. I may have the 3rd one up. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but when I do post it up, I'll put it on all my social media accounts. Until then, if you need me, I'm here. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.